So we're living through a window of opportunity as I speak. This is the greatest and the easiest time in history to build software, whether that be web apps, whether that be mobile apps, but a kind of software that few people really speak on that much are browser extensions. And in this video, I want to talk through how building Google Chrome extensions is a great way of actually getting started with building software with AI because they tend to actually be a lot more straightforward to build, launch, and monetize. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how I was able to build Blur app, submit it to the Google Chrome store, get it approved, and monetize it. And so I built Blur app using something called Antigravity. Antigravity is Google's new AI native uh, development environment, agentic development environment, and it's actually free for those who are curious. You can use a number of different models from Gemini 3 to Cloud Sonnet, Cloud Opus 4.5, and one of the smaller GPT models. Now they do rate limit you, so you have to be mindful of that unless you upgrade to the Ultra Gemini plan. And so in order to get started with this, the first step is actually to ideate with ChatGPT. So I went over the chat and I basically talked through the idea I wanted to build. And the reason why I built this in the first place is I was looking for a solution to dealing with sensitive information when I'm recording videos like this. So whether that be API keys, email addresses, in some cases, phone numbers, credit card information, how can I just super quickly remove that from the screen when I'm on sites that show that kind of sensitive information? And so I saw alternatives on the market. I saw solutions on the market already, but I thought to myself that I may actually be able to build one myself relatively quickly and offer it as a more inexpensive alternative in the marketplace. And so that was what I did. And so within chat, I spoke through my thoughts around what I wanted to build, and then it gave me the initial prompt that I was then able to take to anti-gravity, pop it into the chat box, and then it started to cook. And it created all the files that are necessary for it. And one of the things I really like about these Chrome extensions, you'll see that it tends to be fewer files, right? So you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 files in total, including the actual logo, which is less than you would typically see in a traditional web app, for example. And so once those files were there, I was able to then go onto Google Chrome, click the puzzle, click on Manage Extensions, and then takes you to this extension management area. And all you had to then do is click on Load Unpacked. After turning on developer mode, this only works if you have developer mode on. Putting on developer mode shows this Load Unpacked and Pack Extension and Update. You click on Load Unpacked, and then you choose the folder that you created in when building with Antigravity, the folder that has all the files from the Antigravity project. And then that actually now uploads the files to Chrome, and you're now able to test it. And you can test it like you would test any extension that's in production. So at that point, you can actually now pin the extension to your tab. And then the way the extension works is you click on it to open it up, you toggle, and then there's a manual version and there's also the smart feature. And it works on any website. So if I go on to, let's say, the Blur website, I turn it on, click on pick element, I can blur full components, I can blur specific parts, I can blur any component on these pages. I can blur the whole page. And now I'm able to work through any sort of sensitive information that can pop up. To remove the blur, you just click on clear all. To deactivate, you just click on pick element again. And so that's how this works. And so from there, once you've tested it, and I had to do a little bit of testing, you might deal with some bugs, you might deal with some errors. And if that happens, you just go back to Antigravity, you reprompt, you work through the errors that are popping up, and you show the errors that are happening. And once you're happy with what you have, you can then go and start submitting it to the extension store. And that was all it is, right? In just honestly a couple of prompts, the extension was actually created. But in order to get it really ready for production, and if you want to have it something that's a paid product, then you're going to want to create the paywall, and you're also going to want to create a landing page like I have here. So for the paywall, you're going to go to a site called ExtensionPay.com. This allows you to put a paywall onto your Chrome extension so that people have to pay for it in order to get access to it. Google Chrome no longer allows actually in product payments. Like you can't pay for the Google Chrome extension through Google. You have to do it through third parties now. And so what ExtensionPay does is it'll actually connect your Stripe account to this software here, this ExtensionPay software that you can integrate through code snippets into your project. So you see on the main page here, and you have to create a new extension. So you would click create, you click plus new extension, you would name it, and then you would choose the kind of payment plan you want for it. So you might have a lifetime plan, you might have a monthly plan every 2 months. In my case, I made mine lifetime. And then once you have that here, you're going to take the code, this code right here, that will connect your project to this ExtensionPay. And you're literally just going to take it to the IDE, paste it in, and ask it to implement it. You're going to provide some context with that implementation. So there's this xpay.js right here, which is a GitHub repo repository that's being, like I see it, a way of just saving your project. So this ExtensionPay project has a GitHub repo. So you can actually provide this as context with your prompt for the implementation into Blur app. So you'll see here, when someone clicks to purchase, this is what will come up, right? Or this kind of interface will come up. You know, it might be a payment plan, it might be like a, again, lifetime fee, or whatever you decided to put in. And so that code right here is then what will allow the paywall to come onto the extension. So then what will happen is when you click on the extension, you will actually not be able to access this. Right here, it says lifetime access because I have access to it, but what it'll say is locked, and you'll have to click on pay for extension or pay for license, and then it'll take you to a payment page to be able to pay for it. And this is all in, again, we're still in that testing and development phase for it. So that is one aspect that you have to definitely deal with. And then once that's integrated, right, and again, you're just prompting to do it, the next step is going to be to create a landing page. So this landing page that I have here, I used replit.com to create it. I'm liking Replit a lot for landing pages and websites. And I also created a demo video using Tele TV and edited the video. And so part of my landing page, I had the demo video here to explain what exactly it does. And once you have the landing page completed and you have the ExtensionPay completed as well, and this is if you're going to have your extension be a paid product, then you're going to go over to, you can type in chromewebstore.google.com. At the top right, you're going to click on the three dots, developer dashboard. It'll take you to this section here where you can now create the submission for the extension. So you're going to click on the top right, new item, and then it'll ask you to drag the zip file. So the folder that you have that you uploaded to the load unpacked, that same one you're going to load in here as a zip file. And then it'll create the start of the submission, and you can start to fill out each part of it. So the store listing, the description, the title, you can create screenshots for it. I used Google Studio to create the screenshots for it. I created a logo, also using Google AI Studio. I mentioned I created a promo video with Tele.tv. The homepage was with Replit, and then I had a support aspect to the web page along with a privacy policy. And then from there, make sure that your privacy policy is really strong. So I got rejected twice before getting approved the third time. The first time I got it rejected was because of the privacy policy. So it'll tell you why it got rejected. So if that happens, you can just incorporate that into the next iteration. But you can ask chat again, right, to draft these documents for you and to explain why they are necessary. So that policy is extremely important. And the second time I got rejected was because of the permissions. Like I had put that I needed more permissions than it was saying that I needed. And so I removed some of the access that I would have to users. And so then once you have filled in all the areas of submission and in distribution, you're going to put free of charge because, like I said, you can't actually charge through Google Chrome. You have to do it outside, which is why we applied the ExtensionPay. So once you've filled out everything, you're going to click on submit for review, and then it's going to go ahead and review it. You'll get a notification in your email, and then if it gets rejected, you'll get an email about it being rejected, and then you can go in, make whatever modifications are necessary. It took twice in my case. And then the third time I got it approved. And then once approved, you'll be able to look it up on the Chrome Web Store, and then you can begin sharing it and marketing it out from there. So that's the process from idea to launch. And I believe that Chrome extensions are an underappreciated and a really overlooked way of building software with AI right now. And I think it's a great starting point for a lot of people, because it's fewer files that you're actually dealing with typically. And it can also be a good entry point to using the more developer like tools like Cursor or Antigravity, if you're, let's say, graduating beyond a Lovable or uh, a Bolt, for example. So that's what we got today. Blur app. You can check it out, blurapp.us. I'll have that in the description. And if you'd like to get the repo for Blur app, I'll actually have it in Vibe Code Pioneers. You can join it. Link in the description, where I'm putting the different repos for the projects that I'm doing and the products that I'm building in there. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next one.